Hello and welcome to my workshop. My name is Paul. I'm a luthier and bowmaker based in Tasmania, Australia. In this series I will share some of the projects I work on each week, giving you a glimpse over my shoulder as I work as though you were looking through the window into my workshop. Welcome back. Next instrument we'll be looking at on the workbench for some restoration is this fascinating old Maggini copy. Now this violin was originally played on Stuart Heazelwood in one of the first local orchestras here in northern Tasmania. In fact, I think it may have been the first orchestra formed on the northwest, in the northwest of Tasmania. And Stuart and his I believe 8 brothers, and he had one sister, and they all played instruments from the clarinet. His sister played the piano, they played button accordion, piano accordion, and there was a cellist in there, and he played the violin along with his brother, and they formed one of the first local orchestras. Now the instrument currently is owned by Bonnie Heazelwood, his daughter. Was passed down to her, I believe, in 1978, which was when it was last played, and has been sitting unplayed since then. Now the family that currently farms the old Heazelwood farm at Springfield near Scottsdale in Tasmania, that family now play. They all play instruments and perform, and she has requested that we do the instrument up, and the instrument will be going back to that family that plays on the old Heazelwood farm, and it'll be played once again on the farm and in the local area. So it's got some cool local history, and we'll follow through the process of the work that needs to be done on it. The violin itself is a old German Maggini copy, would be circa sort of around 1890, 1900, maybe through to 1910 at the latest. I believe it's been in the Heazelwood family since at least the early 1900s. It's in fairly good order at first look. However, there are a few things that will need to be done on it to get it in good playing condition. So first up, I think we can see it's fairly dirty, needs a good clean. It'll need a new bridge strings. The pegs will also need replacing. They're a little mismatched and need to be refitted. Some of the larger work that will need to be done, I think you can just see there the lip at the bottom of the base of the where the neck meets the button at the back here. There's a slight lip there. That's the neck has been out of it at some point, and when it's been put back in, it hasn't been put in correctly, and that gives an incorrect angle of the fingerboard here, which means that the strings are very high at this end of the fingerboard, so the projection down the fingerboard to the bridge is incorrect, and you can see how high those strings are. Even though we will be also replacing the bridge, that projection will need to be fixed, so the neck will need to come out and bring the heel back in line with the button. Whoever put the button back on, they used some sort of fairly crude clamp, probably a C-clamp or something with a metal bottom on it, and it's left an imprint here, so we'll try and steam that out without damaging the original varnish. There's also, unfortunately, you can see there, a soundpost crack in the back, and this one is quite significant in the repair process. It means that pretty much means that it's very important that that is repaired. It's something that you can't just patch up and leave. It needs to be repaired and repaired properly. So we need to take the top off the instrument to get to it. I believe there's the soundpost area of the top itself. The soundpost area on the top is okay. So whatever pressure or shock has caused the back to crack hasn't damaged the top, thankfully. But the top will need to come off, and then we will be removing a small patch of material on the back and fitting a patch of fresh timber in over the top of that, and that will reinforce that that area, so that the pressure of the new soundpost and the pressure of the strings and the playing isn't going to make this crack open up, or even though we'll glue it, but it'll take the pressure off that area. So the neck has to come out and be reset. We need to take the top off and do this soundpost patch, and then largely its general setup in terms of new soundpost bridge. We will true the fingerboard up, reset the nut, new pegs, obviously strings, and a good cleanup. So we will start the work on that now. So we've given it a little bit of a clean up on the top there. You can start to see how the varnish starts to come up much more nicely. You can still see the dull patch here under the fingerboard. That'll be cleaned up once the neck comes out. And you can say, well, why don't you clean the whole thing when you take the neck out? I prefer to work on an instrument that's as clean as possible. So I'll go through and give it an initial clean, including up around the peg box here still needs doing, up around the fingerboard, up around the scroll, and we'll give it a nice clean, and that way we're working on a nice clean instrument, or reasonably cleaner instrument. It's just how I like to work. So I will proceed with cleaning that and be back with you in the next video when we take the neck out.